Many people say that they want to write a book, yet 9 out of every 10 people who start writing a book never finish it, leaving one of their biggest dreams unfulfilled. So, what is it about the 1 in 10 people who do finish writing their book? What do they have, and what drives them to complete their books, their plays, and their songs? Welcome to the Editor's Desk, where we explore their writing experiences, their motivations, and their struggles. And now, here are your hosts, author, writing coach, and self-publishing guide, Lynn Everard, and author, Louise Gomez. It's Thursday at 5:30 p.m. in South Florida. I almost said sunny, Louise. You know, I'm trying not to be a weather prognosticator here. So we have a really great show for you today, and you don't see Louise. Well, you see her
I hope they
a
see
little
me.
different. She's in an undisclosed location.
I'm sequestered.
So welcome to the Editor's Desk. My name is Lynn Everard.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Editor's Desk. My name is Louise Gomez. Thank you for tuning in.
And through the course of the pandemic, apparently a number of people were busy doing constructive things. And Louise, that's when we wrote our book. And apparently somebody else was doing some writing as well. And it's a good thing because we may be out of the pandemic, but I think there's still lots to pray about. And so that is a good opportunity for you to tell our audience about our guest.
You know, Lynn, this book really came in handy for me this week, the prayer treatments book, because as you know, I tripped down my stairs and I'm on the mend right now with my foot and my ankle. And so here I'm reading this book and prayer treatments, and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need right now. And so Karina Felix, our author that we have today, is a metaphysical science practitioner, educator, and ordained minister. She is the CEO of Meta Lifestyle Magazine, the Meta Lifestyle Magazine TV and radio show, Ingenious Publishers and Media Production, and Visionaries in Motion. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. She's a serial entrepreneur, magazine, book publisher, speaker, author, writer, and one of the 100 Successful Women in Business Award winners. So thank you so much for writing this spectacular book that really came in so handy for me. I really needed it, Karina.
Thank you so much for having me on your show today, Louise and Lynn. And it's an honor to be here, and I'm so glad you're able to use it this week.
Oh, you know, it's so amazing. What I loved about it, it just was like speaking directly to the one that I needed to speak to, like the prayers, the affirmations, just, you know, no matter what denomination you are, it's directly from my heart to the maker, right? So I was like,
Correct.
oh, this is great. I love this. And, you know, I kind of banged up my foot. So I've been doing the healing one repetitively. So thank you for that.
It's not just prayer, it's affirmation.
Yes.
And we have gotten into the habit, the old way of teaching prayer was all about fear-based, all about what I say, begging, supplication. But that's really not how prayer works. Prayer works more as an affirmation, kind of putting it out there into the universe and saying, I'm already okay, because we have to live in the present. We even have to live in a little bit into the future, as in when we are wishing for something well to happen, whether it's finance, whether it's health, whether it's relationships. You want to get to the point of believing that whatever you're asking for, that you will actually receive it. Because if you don't believe and you don't have faith, then you're just kind of telling the universe, I'm going to ask, but I don't trust you anyway. So I'm going to ask again, and then I'm going to ask again. And we don't have to ask. I mean, the Bible said, Jesus says, ask and it will be given, knock and the doors will open. But you got to believe that it will come to you. Right, Lynn?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when you ask with the confidence that you are worthy of receiving what you ask for,
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference. I know through the course of writing our book and all of that, and even now with the show, every time Louise and I meet to work, we set an intention,
Right.
which is a form of prayer.
Correct.
Right?
Set an intention,
And
yes.
it's amazing because everything that we set the intention for happens.
Yeah.
And Louise, I was just sharing with Freddie a little while ago, I said, it's time for us to start having bigger dreams because all the small ones are happening.
Well, you know what they say?
Yeah.
Go big or go home. So you really should. You will be using exactly the same amount of energy whether you plan something really small or you plan something really big. So if you're going to use that energy anyway, go big or go home.
It's so true. And then also, reading these affirmations and speaking into them creates that feeling and the emotion. And I know it's that feeling and emotion that when that is connected to the intention, the desire, and speaking it out loud, it's like that combination of
Correct.
all those things, right? Like the emotional feeling of that. I
Yes.
know Dr. Wayne, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish it off.
I'll just say real quick, I know like Dr. Wayne Dyer and a lot of people spoke into, having that feeling and having that connecting with that emotion is also like part of that combination of fulfilling those dreams and those prayers. Speak
Correct.
into that.
Yes, because feelings, actually, it starts from the beginning. Your thought is energy. And
Yes.
once you realize that your thoughts are actually energy that's starting something new, whatever that is, the minute you have a thought and you put any time and effort into it, that starts to become a snowball. It starts to create whatever it is that you're thinking of. That's why I'd always say, be careful what you're thinking of, you just might get it. So many times people will say, well, why would I ask for something bad to happen to me? Now, it's not that something, you didn't choose for something bad to happen, but the question is, what were you thinking at that moment? What went through your mind that you were maybe just not in the moment? I love to talk about living in a conscious moment, living in a now, being aware of everything your mind is going through, because we have this monkey mind that just keeps going and blah, 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 blah. And we have to separate the monkey mind, the ego, with our spiritual voices that's talking to us. And sometimes the monkey mind is so loud, we can't even hear what our guides want to tell us. We can't hear what Source wants to bring to us because we're completely lost in the noise. And this is why we need to find just quiet time. And I know people get all bogged down with, oh my goodness, a meditation, I can't sit still. And that's okay. You don't even have to do that. You could just sit still anywhere. Just sit there. The point is, try to sit long enough without a book, without a phone, without TV, without a radio, without all of that, and
Yes.
just sit. And let your mind drift. And you'd be surprised. This stuff, all of a sudden you go like, why am I thinking that? Or why is that person still in my head? I haven't even, I thought I was over that. And my next thing is journaling. I am big, on journaling. Because to me, when you write, you're transferring that energy, again, from your thoughts, through your body, through your hand, onto that paper. And you want to get it out of you. You want to get it out of your system, especially the stuff that's frustrating you, driving you nuts. And it doesn't matter what you want, whether it's something good that you want or something negative you want to get rid of. When you journal that, you transfer that energy out of you, and it opens up your mind to be free to hear, the little voices, the one that has something important to tell you, the ones that's going to take you in the direction you want to go.
Well, the journaling is also very helpful because first, it could become a book eventually.
True.
Right? And then also it's helpful because if you save the journaling, you can go back and look at where you were at a given point in time and say, wow, I didn't realize how much progress I've made.
And what all journaling does is our guides are consistently trying to communicate with us. And like I said, the monkey mind, makes too much noise. But when you journal, and I'm sure you've all experienced this before, you write something, you write down a page, 2 pages, you go back and you read it, and you say, who wrote that? Because
Yeah.
I don't talk like that. I don't write like that. I don't even use those words. Where did that come from? And this is our guides communicating with us. And more you write and you just go with the flow, like go into that zone. Whatever is bothering you, whatever that block is that's been keeping you from making whatever decisions that is, will show up on paper. And all of a sudden you go, oh my goodness, I didn't realize this is how I felt, or this is how I feel, or was thinking. I mean, I didn't even realize this is how I was blocking myself. I was sabotaging myself. Why would I sabotage myself? And then that's where the real work goes. This is what Lynn calls the shadow work. This is where we go back and say, okay, where did that get started?
Yeah.
When did I start thinking like that? When did I start believing that? When did I start sabotaging myself?
You said something really important I want to go back and touch on. You said, be careful what you think about. And I'm going to give you an example. So I was in Pennsylvania visiting my nephew for 4 days, and he lives in a house, refurbished house, but it's over 125 years old, and the stairs are very narrow and very tall. So every time I walked up the stairs, I kept saying, "Oh my God, these are such treacherous stairs. Be careful, don't fall." And I said for 4 days, "Don't fall down the stairs." And my son kept saying, "Mom, be careful, don't fall down the stairs."
Exactly.
The neighbor, she just fell down the stairs. All I had on my mind, Karina, for 4 days was, don't fall down the
Don't.
stairs. Do you know what happened when I came home? I fell down my stairs.
Of course. You manifested it. You literally asked for it. Even though you're saying, I didn't
did.
ask for that, but you did.
I
and,
did.
And here's the fun part about the way the universe works. It
Yeah.
doesn't know positive and negative. It doesn't know
Correct.
good
It
or
doesn't
bad.
know don't.
It
It
doesn't
just
know
knows
anything.
fall down
So
the stairs.
that's all. It doesn't know what's don't. So when you says don't fall down the stairs, all it heard was fall downstairs.
Yes.
That's all it
Yes.
hurts. So that's also why we also have to watch our words. And if you ever
Yes.
read Four Agreements, he says words are like incantation. You could
Yeah.
use it for white magic. You could use it for black magic.
Yeah.
We need to use it for white magic to wish more good and more blessings and whatever that is. But we tend to let our mind just run its course, and you can't. You have to always reel it in,
Yeah.
and bring it back. But yeah, the universe don't know good or bad. So be very careful
Yeah.
when you're
Yes.
thinking, when you're talking. And we have grown up in certain way of talking, and it's very negative, I realize, and I remember my mom would say stuff, the minute I'm going out, be careful on the road, drive safe, and
Yeah.
and it was all again fear based, which was creating my future
Right.
danger. So now
Right.
I have to do the same thing with my kids. And when they're going out, my first instinct is to say, "Oh my goodness, be careful!" And then I would be, "Have fun, enjoy yourself. I'll see you later."
One of the things
Yeah.
that we do as humans, and I don't think most of us realize this, is that in terms of our self-talk, right? We have you noticed that when you do something that you think is bad or wrong or is a mistake, and you start that voice in your head that says you're this and you're that and you messed up, and well, that voice
Right.
is screaming at you. But then when we do something really good or something that is just absolutely wonderful, all we hear is a whisper. And
Yeah.
what if we could train ourselves that we would whisper the times we actually stop putting ourselves down, but at least if we can't stop it, bring it to a whisper and maybe speak a little louder into the good things that happen to us, because that at that point that would become a prayer, right?
That is
Yeah.
a prayer. Following up on that, and that's a great thing, because in the beginning of the year, Oh no, I wasn't. I'm sorry, I was in Aruba a year ago. I thought it was the beginning. See, I'm confused already. But I remember my mom was always about don't have a big head. You know, we were not allowed to show off or have a big head or talk about yourself. And at
Right.
one point, I thought, well, why can I not talk about myself? I worked hard to be where I
Right.
am right now. I studied and I researched and I read and I did all of that work. Why can I not take credit for my work?
Right.
And I should be able to look in the mirror and said, "Damn, I'm fabulous. Damn, I'm great. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a good person." If I can say that to myself, who is going to say it to me? And if
Right.
someone else says it to me and I don't believe it, it makes no difference because then I'm not receiving that blessing, because that's a blessing when
Yeah.
someone compliments you or say something nice
Yes.
to you. But what do we say? Oh, nah, that old dress. Nah, you know, I didn't feel like dressing. No, just say thank you. And that's it. Thank you is
Right.
enough. We're always covering it up. Well, yeah, but you look nice too. No, they give you a compliment. Receive it. Take it in. Let them enjoy the moment that they gave you a nice
Right.
compliment. Receive it. So they feel good, you feel good, we all feel good. But we tend to push it away. So when someone says a compliment to you and you push it away, you're almost saying, I don't really honor whatever you're saying to me. And that's
Right.
another mindset that we have to change.
So if we can't receive, how do we ever expect to receive what we have asked for?
Exactly. Exactly. So I brought. Do we have to do commercials now? Because I want to focus on my props. I brought props
I
to
know. I love it.
to
That's
illustrate
amazing.
illustrate a little bit of what's happening here. So can I go ahead and move to the props? I guess we need to
Yeah, can we move
switch
one of
over
the
the
cameras
cameras
around
really
so
fast.
we can see what's on the table here?
So I brought props because sometimes visualizing is so much easier when you're explaining something than
Yes.
just talking about it. And
Mhm.
and at the end, I will read one of my prayers so they could understand. So
Yeah,
first
that's
of all,
perfect.
I'm going to scooch over here so I can lean over. Okay. Can we have the camera show? Thank
There we
you.
go.
Appreciate
Nice.
that. So as you
Beautiful
could
song.
see our presentation here, and I'm going to ask if we can have the camera shifted just a little bit, please, Freddie, if you don't mind, because the book is not on the screen. So
That's
as you
a
could
beautiful
see,
amethyst. Is that amethyst stone?
yes, I got a great amethyst here. Goes to
Beautiful.
So I have a amethyst here. But what the reason I brought it, here's my Shiva and my Buddha, and there's my Lord Kadesh, and my little, of course, for those that know, the chakra symbols. And of course, I brought, and these are from India. I was just in India in November, so I picked up a lot of this stuff in India. And what I
Nice.
wanted to show here is, as you could see here, I got a whole bunch of pennies. And the reason I have pennies is, we always are walking on the street and we always see money on the floor. And it might be
Yeah.
a penny, it might be a dime. And we
Yeah.
look at it and we give it no importance and we just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And because back in the days, a penny can get you a lot of candy. So then it had a lot of value. To us now, that penny has no value. It's just change. So we see it on the floor, we step over it, we walk away. But this is what I do. I go, wow, a penny. I pick it up
Yes.
and I go, I am a penny richer than I was a minute ago. So what this is what if it's a message to show that I'm always living in appreciation of abundance and prosperity. By appreciating this little penny, I am telling the universe, I'm open to receive more and more and more. But if you just step over it and walk away, the universe is looking at you and thinking, she's not interested in abundance. She's
Right.
not interested in prosperity. So why would I give it to her? Because if she can't appreciate the little thing,
Yes.
she is going to miss the big picture.
Agreed. I love that.
So
Yeah, you're acknowledging to the universe, like you thank you. I see that, and you know, if you can't receive that, how would you receive more than that, right? So
correct.
it's a
So
great
now
reminder.
the reason I brought my Lord Ganesh and Buddha and my Krishna and my little altar here, and this is more of a symbol. Sometimes we get too caught up in focusing on symbols, and we're not supposed to be there. We are supposed to use this as a stepping stone to the next level of our awareness, a next level
Right.
of consciousness. It's on our way to our fifth dimension. And sometimes we need something visual to say, oh, yeah, I have to remember to be grateful. I have to remember to say a prayer. I have to remember to be, whatever that is. The point is to, at some point, get to that level where you don't need any of this and you can communicate directly with Source, because we all have that capability. We are all psychics. We all receive messages. We're just not in tune. We're just not in the moment. We're not open to receive. So if we have to use this, and you could see I have my crystals, I have so many stuff. And to me, I just have it as a fun, kind of I'm not going to use the word worship because worshiping is not the right word, but just kind of a reminder that
Yes.
there is so much out there that we don't know, that we don't see, and that we do have to live by faith as much as possible. And of course, there's the candle, and the candle means light. And sometimes just by lighting a candle in your home, it reminds you to bring light into your house. To you know what they say, wherever there's light, darkness can't possibly be there. So any darkened room, you turn on that switch, that light goes on, darkness is gone. So that's one thing. And then one last thing I wanted to show, and that is the feathers. Our angels love to leave little feathers laying around there for us. So when you see a random feather, don't just walk over. Just literally acknowledge, thank you. I know you're here. I know you're watching me. I know you're taking care of me. And, again, it could be just a way of reminding you to stay focused and stay present and staying in the moment. But we use all of these little messages to keep us grounded, to keep us centered, and to keep us always following in our path. So if you ever see, I was, excuse me, exercising one morning, and as I walked out, it was just I was having a weird moment. You wake up those days, you're like, I don't feel like doing nothing. But anyway, I got dressed, I'm going for a walk, and I saw this beautiful feather. I mean, look at that. The black and white is gorgeous. And as I'm walking and I saw it, my first instinct was to step over it, walk away, and said, on the way back, I'll pick it up. And I stopped and went, what's the message you're putting out there? I don't have time right now. I'm going to walk away. Maybe someone else will pick it up. Maybe the wind is going to blow it away. Who says it's going to be there when I get back? That was an opportunity. Could have been a missed opportunity. And this is the way we have to live our life. Don't let missed opportunities go by. Seize the moment, like they say. So these are little reminders to keep you centered in your, not just spiritual pursuit, but just personal, everyday, enjoying life and creating the lifestyle you desire and you deserve.
So as we
Yeah, I mean,
get,
like you said, the angels want to communicate with us. That's how they communicate. Our guides, they communicate through different things that are out there. So
Correct. So
I connect with what you said.
So during COVID, when everyone was, home and not knowing what to do with themselves, and I went on YouTube to look for prayer treatments, just small little prayers, and I found stuff that's 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and I'm like, I'm not going to do an hour prayer. And I said, I just want a little short little prayer, a little 5-minute thing, just a little pick me up kind of a thing, and didn't find it. So therefore, I created some videos on YouTube that you can find on my channel under KarinaGFelix.com. And just the end of last year into this year, I decided to take those videos and turn it into the prayer book that says Prayer Treatment for Health, Wealth, Peace, and Joy. So if you have a moment, it is on Amazon, and it is very short little prayers. One is for health, it's for wealth, well-being, finding your ideal partner, new beginnings, starting new stuff in life, forgiving yourself, self-love. So it's a lot of them, and I know you just read it. I don't know if you want to say something really fast about that.
Well, all the prayers are really good, and I think a lot of times people go to pray, but they really don't have the words.
Correct.
They really don't know how to take what they desire and put it into words. And a lot of people, they're not even sure what they want.
Exactly.
So then they don't pray because they don't know what to ask for.
Correct.
And so one of the things I love about your book is that you do the prayers by topic. And so all someone needs to do is go through the book and say, oh, that's what I want to pray about.
Today, yes.
And then they can follow along with the prayer. And then you've got the videos on YouTube as well
Yes.
for people to do that. And they're a little longer because they have music with them. And it gets you into this very relaxed place where you can actually experience the experience of prayer, not just the words, but the full experience of it. So as we get close to the end of the show, because it goes by really fast when we're talking about fun topics, which we pretty much always do, what would you like our audience to know about you, what you have coming up, how can our audience connect with you, how can they experience some of the things that you've talked about today?
So, pretty much what you just said. Most people do not know what they want. And so if you don't know what you want, you don't know what to ask for. So we're always jumping around, and we don't have any laser focused goal in mind. So I created a 5-step journaling process that's on my website at karinagfelix.com, and it walks you through where are you now, what's happening in your life right now, and then it takes you to the future, what do I want, and once you figure out what I don't want, then you know what you do want, and that's how you start to get laser focused. Then we go back and fix a couple of those blocks that's left there that you've been repeating your whole life, that keeps recurring, and we got to get rid of those. And then we streamline and bring you to the point, and this is where you're at now. Okay, and how are we moving forward? So if you can just go to karinagfelix.com, and you'll be able to get it's called Intuitive Guidance, and you can follow the 5-step guided writing journey.
That's terrific. Before we close out the show, we want to make sure that everyone's aware that our guest next week will be Monica Ramirez, and she's the author of a book called Transformation and Metamorphosis. And that will take us into a whole area of where she actually healed herself from an illness. And the reason I mention that now, because usually we do it kind of the last thing we say, but prayer can also support us in physical healing.
Oh, yes, very
right?
much. Yes.
So is there any kind of, because the prayers don't address specific illnesses, but do you have anything maybe you'd like to tell our audience about, how they could use the prayers in the book and apply them to maybe a specific illness?
Yes. If you want to heal yourself, you have to believe that you are already healed. Our subconscious mind is amazing. And remember, it doesn't know good, bad. It doesn't know the difference. So if you say, I'm healed and I'm walking, I'm fine, it has to just rally around and make everything possible. And it would make your healing even faster. So you have to live whatever you want in the future, you have to live it now. So it's almost like pretending, I'm already healed, I'm already walking, I'm already, and then slowly the body will adjust to that, because that's how our minds works. And I just want to throw it in. Every Tuesday at 3 to 4, please join in to the Meta Lifestyle Meta Lifestyle Magazine show, which I host. And we get even deeper into this kind of conversation. So hope to see you guys there as well. And Lynn, and thank you guys so much for having me today.
Yes,
I'm
thank you
excited.
for being our
Thanks for
guest.
coming.
And we wish all of you a wonderful week, and we will see you again right back here next Thursday at 5:30.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Editor's Desk. Good night, everybody. Great night.
Even if you
Great
have
show.
never written a book, you are still an author. In fact, we all are. In every moment, each of us is writing our own unique story that we call our lives. Because many of us are, as in the lyrics of the Dan Hill song, Sometimes When We Touch, writers still trapped within our truth. If this is you, why not start writing your thoughts in a journal? It will help you get your truth on paper and could just be the start of your own book. And don't forget to join us here every week for the next edition of The Editor's